This ministry was inspired by God showing me that I am a preacher in 10 buildings each for 20,000 people each in one city where I preach 10 different sermons in one day. This is great. In these lessons, I reconstruct and explore the philosophy of Jesus Christ. In this video, I will talk about sons of God and son of man. Sons of God. When a son grows older, he becomes similar to his father. This is the definition of the word son. Christ is the Son of God. This means that Christ goes to the Father. That is, he becomes the same as his Father. Well, indeed, Christ does not move. He is like a river that moves and does not move at the same time. In the same way, Christ goes to his Father, but Christ does not move. The following Bible fragment says that Christ does not change. Hebrew 1:10-12. And you, Lord, in the beginning laid the foundation of the earth. The heavens are the works of your hands. They will perish, but you continue. They will grow old like a garment does. As a mantle you will roll them up, and they will be changed. But you are the same. Your years will not fail. As you know, this is about Jesus. We are children of God. This means that our natural course of development is to become like God. John 1:12. But as many as received him, John 1:12. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become God's children, to those who believe in him. John 3, verses 1-2. Behold, how great a love the Father has bestowed on us, that we should be called children of God. For this cause the world does not know us, because it didn't know him. Beloved, now we are children of God, and it is not yet revealed what we will be. But we know that when he is revealed, we will be like him, for he will, for we will see him as he is. Son of Man. Christ also is called the Son of Man in the Gospel. This means that Christ is the final product of development of mankind. This is very good news because it means that the development of mankind will never be stopped but will continue without limit. Jesus is the final result of development of mankind. In other words, Jesus is just a guest from an infinitely far future. It is not mankind that caused Christ to exist. Instead of the infinite development of mankind was made possible only by coming of Christ to earth 2,000 years ago. Now consider Revelation 10:6, modified translation. There will be no longer time, no longer time. I think in this Bible verse, the word time should be understood as an order of events in which preceding events can be cause of following event, but not vice versa. No time would mean that there is no longer the order of things, thus allowing subsequent events to affect those that come before it. In other words, unrestricted time travel is possible. I think there will be time in the sense that clocks and other physical objects dealing with time will continue to function. I think in this way because physical objects continue to exist after Revelation 10:6. They would be unlikely to continue existing without time. Revelation 11:1 describes a temple with physical characteristics like this. Revelation 11:13 describes an earthquake, etc. And even in Revelation 22, the last chapter of Apocalypse, describes a river of water which cannot be without time, as the river must flow. A common scenario in science fiction is members of a civilization returning back in time and changing its own development. I believe it is what Christ does with mankind. For a loop in time, this would be necessary to avoid contradictions such as well-known paradox of somebody killing his own father before his birth by traveling into the past. I think that commandments are indeed to avoid such I intended to avoid such contradictions. For example, following the commandment "don't kill" would make it impossible for a person to kill his father, and as in the mentioned paradox. So, after the second coming of Christ, we will take advantage of being part of this civilization of the highest possible development level, without waiting for an infinite amount of time for this. This is what come of Christ means. It is worth mentioning that Islam has a very pessimistic attitude that Allah is one and has no sons. This would mean that no one is able to reach an infinite level of development, and every development will become stalled at some stage. This agrees with the Muslim belief of a materialistic paradise filled with pleasures of good foods and women, rather than infinite development towards God offered by Bible. I think I finished this lesson. This ministry has been started and directed by God. Please take your part to support this ministry. Subscribe to this channel, press like, post a comment. Your help will be very much appreciated not only by me, but also by God, who will bless you. Thank you. Get the books provided by this ministry and also the course How to Get to the Highest Heaven. Yes, you read the course, believe it, and get to the highest heaven. Please look in the description of this video.